Alrighty, fellas, if you are struggling to clear this boss on level 40 to get that nice level 40 badge, have no fear, I'm here. But enough yap, let's get right into the nitty gritty. Ikaze. Alrighty, boys, so let's go ahead and talk about the boss mechanics. And starting with the ads. So, Jigokuten has this AoE shield proc that he inflicts on all the enemy shadows called Blade of Sanctuary. And since this is a level 40 fight, all the ads do indeed hit hard. But don't worry, you will see how to counteract it later in the guide. Next, let's talk about Sochoten. Sochoten has a perma attack buff called Growth of All Things. He also hits hard, but these two are definitely not the cancer of this fight. We're about to get to that. Now let's talk about one of the more troublesome ones, Komokuten. So, Komokuten has a taunt mechanic where he taunts one of our party members up to a max of 2 with Eye of Heaven. And what that does is all the enemy shadows will perma-aggro, or not perma-aggro, will aggro that said party member that's taunted for 1 turn. So this guy can be the end of your run. So definitely try to take him out as soon as you possibly can. But even Komokuten isn't the most cancerous shadow in this fight. That award goes to Bishamonten. This guy has an affinity change mechanic. He can change affinities from neutral to resist, even to null. He can also heal up any enemy shadow, even himself. This guy is definitely troublesome. You want to get rid of him fast because this guy reduces your damage quite often, right? And he heals. Very troublesome shadow. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the boss itself, Asura. So, Asura is basically a combination of all these 4, but he hits drastically harder. He inflicts like a huge AoE, like that hits really hard. Like you definitely need a good sustain in this fight. So he has Parasol of Chaos, where he has that cancer. He has the Eye of Heaven mechanic, the taunting mechanic. He has the perma attack buff, and he has the shield proc. Most importantly, Parasol of Chaos is the most cancer, and he will proc that every turn. Every turn. So watch out for that. But anyways, let's talk about how to deal with each phase in the fight. So if you don't know how this fight works, essentially, phase 1, you have to take down 2 of the enemy shadows in order to get to phase 2. So, like I said, you want to take down Bishamonten first, right? And then you want to take down Komokuten, right? Now, that's phase 1. Once you take those 2 down, you will immediately spawn into phase 2, where you have no other choice but to fight Asura head-to-head. In that case, I will teach you how to deal with that once we get deeper into this guide. And without further ado, boys, I'll go ahead and show you the buff selections and debuff selections. Ikaze. Alrighty, fellas, so here are my list of buffs and debuffs that I selected. Take a moment here to pause the video or slow it down, whatever you need to be. Without further ado, let's go ahead and show you. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about this team's, its rev cards, and the mindscapes. Starting with our main DPS, Violet / Sumi. So with Sumi, you're going to want the Blessed DPS set, Wisdom and Virtue. Do bear in mind that I did clear with an R6 4-star weapon. So, very budget-friendly Sumi. Here's her mindscape. Now let's go ahead and talk about our main strategist / support, Cord. Cord is going to be running the Creation Reconciliation set. If you don't know what this set does, it essentially buffs the lowest speed allies damage on the team, that being Sumi, and it also buffs all stats, including attack. Now, let's go ahead and talk about our main sustain / medic, being Minami. With Minami, you're going to want Trust and Prosperity. Here is her mindscape, practically bare bones. Oh, and I forgot to show you Cords, so here's Cords. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about our Navigator. So our Navigator is going to be Futaba. We're going to be running Resolve and Labor. And lastly, here is her mindset. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Wonder himself. So, Wondrous Dagger, you have 3 options. You can run Ex Machina. Now, if you do run Ex Machina, you're going to have to set your starter persona as Bless, so you get the Bless amp from the dagger itself. Or you can run Arc Knife if you need the extra defense down. Or you can run Glimmer like me for the Bless damage amp. In this case, mine's is R6, so I decided to run Glimmer here. But most people probably going to run Arc Knife or Ex Machina. But in my case, I ran Glimmer. As for personas, I'll be running Dionysus here. You're going to want to inherit Rebellion if you haven't already. Next is going to be Sandalphon. Sandalphon is going to be crazy huge in this fight. We're going to be using Devoted Guard a lot to spam his shield. And also his highlight as well to also generate a shield. And if you target it on a specific person, he even gives a damage amp. So a very good persona. Lastly, Vishnu. We're going to be using Wind of Nirvana to inflict defense shreds with his passive and with his skill 1 here. But yeah, enough said, y'all. Let's get into the fight. Ikaze. Okay, I'm kidding. There is a few more things I do want to address. So for alternative teams, instead of running Minami, you can always run Guardian Medic Twins. So that would be the Electric Wind skill / Psy Nuke skill. If you're A1 Twins, you'll be able to proc the shield a lot more sooner than if you're A0. So do keep that in mind. And the twins can sustain you as well with their heal and then with the shield. Now, if you don't have twins, you can also run Masaki or aka Cherish. Cherish with Minami isn't really a bad combo. They can both sustain quite well. And let's say, for example, you don't have, I don't know, Cherish. You can play with Medic Guardian Twins plus Shun. Shun debuffs with Gun and S2, and he can provide a good defensive proc on S3, and it heals a bit. So you can also pair that with Twins. What I'm trying to say is just mix and match with whatever you have. The single target DPS doesn't have to be Makoto Nijima, like on the screen here. It can be like, Frostgale Katone with like Windvast, with Medic, Guardian, like Twins. You can run Mesa, right? As long as you have a single target with like at least 1 sustain and 1 Guardian, this fight should be fine. So on the screen there's your alternative Guardians that you can use. You can pair them up together, especially with Twins. Like you can pair Twins with, like I said, Cherish, or Twins with Soy. Or if you don't have Soy or Cherish invested, you can always do Twins with Minami. And yeah, now let's go ahead and get into the run. Ikaze. So let's go ahead and describe to you the roles of each party member. So Wonder, his main job is to be a pseudo-sustain with Sandalphon and a crit buffer for Sumi. Minami is mainly just going to be your main sustain overall, healing up and at the same time buffing everyone whenever she heals. That depends on your awareness, by the way. In my case, Minami's A1. Cord is obviously your double highlight spammer strategist. And Sumi is going to be your main DPS, right? How she works is she targets a dance partner with S2. You gain more stacks with S1. And once you get Masquerade, you can go into the double highlight rotation if Cord has Catchy Hook. Now, obviously, another tip is make sure you align Sumi's highlights with Futaba Weakness Implant. So pay very close attention to my rotations. And other than that, like I said, in phase 1, just focus target Bishamonten. And then after Bishamonten's dead, target Komokuten. But other than that, good luck. So if you guys were struggling on turn 1 to live there, you can always just pop Sandalphon S1 at the start of the fight. But in this case, I let RNG play out a little bit and prayed that none of my party members got aggroed. So I ended up using Sandalphon on turn 2. But don't worry, if you are lacking survivability, you can always just, take off Cord. As much as a brick as that sounds, you can put in someone like, Medic Guardian Twins. Because even at A0, Sumi Highlight does a lot of damage too, from what I've tested. But you will take longer to kill these enemies. Just do bear that in mind. Yeah, so notice last turn how I didn't pop Masquerade super early. You wanna pop Masquerade whenever it's Sumi's highlight turn, so you get full mileage out of her damage again. And you see that I spam Send-Off on a lot. Well, that's for good reason. It's so that we can prep into phase 2 so we don't take too much damage. You'll understand why. And another thing too here, highlight wise, Chord highlight is a really good buffing highlight. You want to use that whenever it's available to you as well. Mainly I timed it with Sumi's Masquerade highlight rotations here. So that's how you would Chord highlight in this fight. So notice here, since I don't have 100% highlight ready, I ended up just using Send-Off on again. And then that would give me access to his highlight once I hit Minami's turn. But if you do want to highlight with Wonder when it's his turn, so that you can use like Dionysus Rebellion or Vishnu S1, you could always just not Chord highlight the turn prior and just save that highlight until you hit phase 2. Because I'm sure even without Chord highlight there, you could have still killed both shadows from phase 1. But anyways, the same rotation with Sumi applies here on the boss, right? Just S2 target Chord to turn her into a dance partner, S1 to gain more stacks, and then once you have Masquerade on turn 3, you just do the double highlight rotation. But yeah, other than that, just keep buffing up Sumi with Wonder, keep using Send-Off on to protect your party as much as you can. Keep healing with Minami, right? Do Chord's optimal rotation, right? And you should be fine. Man, you see what I mean? If we wouldn't have used Send-Off on's abilities there, Wonder would have went bye-bye. Like, yeah, this guy hits really freaking hard. And if you do need extra heals, Minami's highlight is also very good too. It also cleanses, but I'm pretty sure there's really no debuffs in this fight that the enemies apply on you. So it's really only there just to apply, a good heal. Now, here on this rotation, if you've made it, well, congratulations. You've made it to the end stretch. And, savor this victory, y'all. I know how hard level 40 bosses can be. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all at the very end of this video. Well, boys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped y'all, and if it did, maybe leave a sub. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you click that button, it would make me very happy. But other than that, if you have any questions, leave it down below. I'll help you with rotations or any alternative teams that you might need help with. And I will update you guys a little bit about this channel. I do kind of want to take a little break this month, so what that means is less guides. Don't worry, I'll still be uploading the major guides like Astrolab and like the Akechi Road Crossroads boss, but I don't really plan on uploading any SOS guides or any guild bossing guides anytime soon, because I'm gonna be real, it's just a bunch of repeat bosses, and I kind of want to take this month off to play Persona 3 Reload and finish it, because God, I have been putting that off for the longest time. So yeah, that's all I wanted to tell y'all. But yeah, until the next video, deuces.